Hi. In our world, in the last few years or so, there was a lot of talk about racial discrimination and sexual discrimination and so on. So today, I would like to share with you my view about discrimination. But before I do that, for those who have subscribed, please check your subscription is still valid. For those who haven't, so subscribe it. Hi. Recently, the Chinese Deputy Foreign Minister, Xie Feng, met the American Deputy Secretary of State, okay? Another kind of summit meeting between top diplomats of the two countries. Interesting is, one thing this Chinese guy said, Xie Feng, he was, applying again, attack is the best defense, Before they got critics about all the human rights abuses and genocide and so on, then he started to criticize America by mentioning, how America discriminated the Aborigine, the Indians, Aborigine of America, and suppressing them, killing them, and so on. And, this is a very old tactic. By the way, the Chinese communists, they love to mention, how the black people in America are suppressed and discriminated and all this, yeah. When it happened with George Floyd, it was blown up to the maximum in Chinese media and just say, look, how terrible America is, people are discriminated for the skin color and so on. You see, one thing we have to be aware is, this is nothing new. It has been a consequent strategy. Already in the 60s, Mao Zedong, at that time the party boss of Communist Party of China, I recall very well, he received the leader of Black Panther, one of those, militant organization, fight for the black and so on. Of course, I don't like suppressing black people or any people at all. Yeah. Interesting is, Mao at that time, when he received this leader of Black Panther, he was saying, the American imperialist has been built up by the slave of Africa, the black slave. And the black slave will be also the force, the power to pull this imperialism down. Yeah? So already there in the 60s, they love to blow up this so-called discrimination and racism against the black people. So why? Well, of course, because America has always been identified as the potential enemy number one of CCP. So to create internal conflict within America is a very efficient way to fight the enemy. This is an old trick that in the warring state of China 2,500 years ago, they applied that kind of tactic already. So it's a similar tactic, by blowing up this so-called conflict between. Now, interesting is the one who is now criticizing how America are discriminating the Indians, the black people and so on. What about they themselves? I don't need to talk about the Uyghurs, everybody know, or the persecution against Tibetans, Falun Gong, Christian, and so on. But when it comes to, so to say, discriminating other races, I tell you, I give you an example, then you see a difference. The general opinion of the Chinese people after 72 years of communist rule, how do they look at the black people? Well, one way to show it is, for example, in America, if a young daughter, a 20 years old young daughter, came home and tell their parents she's going to get married with a black guy, no big deal. It's no. But in China, can you imagine? I can guarantee you 99% of the Chinese parents will got crazy and try all means to stop that happen. And why? Talk about, racist theory, so you guys should understand. And in China, actually, I know, I have a lot of African friends, they felt, those who have been living in China, they felt a strong discrimination. Except when they are in China as a kind of some sort of representative of their country, and usually this African country behind them, doesn't matter which one, are all these countries that Chinese Communist Party want them to vote for China in United Nations, in whatever international events, to give them support. Why? Because one country, one vote, And in such situation, the African people in China will be very well treated. For example, nowadays, they want to attract a lot of African students to come to China to study, to get them brainwashed also to become the future CCP-friendly leaders of African country. You know what? How far they go to please these African students? They even requested lady or female students of Chinese students to accompany their African students to help them in study, sending two young girls to help a young man. This is it's not it's a official stuff, It's put into action. So, ladies and gentlemen, be careful. What the CCP has been doing is really to create internal conflict, because not only that they themselves actually are much, much more discriminative than what the case is in America. And also because the fact is, I don't like discrimination, I don't like suppression, but in our world, it's not just white people suppress black people. No, come on. There are also white people suppressing white people. There are even black people suppressing white people. And there are Chinese suppressing Chinese, and Americans suppressing Chinese, Chinese suppressing American. So actually it has nothing to do with nationality or skin color. The problem is the morality again. When people become egoistic, when people do not have the slightest sign of compassion, then you only think about yourself. You don't care how the other have it. So then you suppress other people. The same thing with the gender description. In our world, it's not only men suppressing women. There are also women suppressing women. There are also women suppressing men. There are men suppressing men, and so on, right? So the reason of suppression actually has nothing to do with gender. Actually has to do with your nature, your character, your personality. If you are a person who want to be a good person, that means you are honest, you are compassionate, you are tolerant. You don't suppress another person. Doesn't matter what skin color, what nationality, what gender. So we have to be careful. All this blowing up of conflict between people of different skin color, people of different gender, is one way to create internal conflict in Western power, in particular in US and in Europe. And I'm 100% sure there is a long chain of pushing such movement. And at the very end, you should know that the Chinese Communist Party has a finger there. As I told you, already in the 60s, Mao Zedong did that already, really supporting, encouraging the black people in America to overthrow the system, to fight the white. Don't fall into that trap. And again, before we close, don't forget to check your subscription and click like if you like it, and do support us through Patreon or PayPal. Thank you for today. Bye-bye.